Just on the train to Liverpool. Got something very exciting planned today. Can't wait to show you all. We are at the location. Wait till you see what I'm about to show you. Will not believe the size of it. It's incredible. This boat is 100% made out of plastic.
The original contact that I made with Formation Plastic, I actually seen an article in a publication called Towpath, and I was really interested coming from my background of working offshore. I'm familiar with HDPE, so I understood how strong and durable it is as a material. So it intrigued me when I'd seen somebody who tried to build a narrowboat. Went up for a visit, we had a good chat, and I was interested in buying a shell. That conversation developed, and from me being a potential customer for one shell, I've ended up creating a boat building company and forming a partnership with Formation Plastic, and now they are going to produce shells for me and we're going to produce the finished boats for customers. I'm Curtis O'Yaderen, I'm the owner of Adrift Boats. We've formed a collaboration with a company called Formation Plastics to create the first ever fully HDPE plastic narrowboat. This is the first, it's one and only of its kind at the moment, and we've tried to look at all the issues that owning a narrowboat brings with it, the really annoying things like maintenance of paintwork and changing oil in your engine and the noise and different things, and we've tried to mitigate everything we could. As best we could. So the system we use is a hybrid electric system incorporating solar panels, battery banks and a diesel generator. The battery system we've used is the newest batteries from Vitrion, so they're super efficient lithium ion batteries which give you probably 10 times the lifespan of a normal lead acid battery. The system that we're using, it's called a Renatus E-Pod. So this thing, I'll lift it out, it's a little bit heavy, so excuse the groan.
Wow.
So this is a shaftless propulsion system.
Okay.
So you don't have a shaft protruding through the bottom of the boat. It's basically maintenance free.
Okay.
The power and everything else is self-contained.
Is that used on boats at the moment? Well, what's that used on now already?
It is used on a few different boats, but it's fairly new. It's only been out maybe a couple of years.
Okay.
But it is being utilised more and more on boats because obviously people are realising how user-friendly it is and reliable.
So that's electric?
That's fully electric.
Okay. Wow. And that is just solar panels, or is it like a generator?
So it can run off anything.
Okay.
Whatever, as long as you've got the right power supply, you can do it off anything. So the solar and the generator and the batteries are all configured to work together in tandem.
Okay.
So if your battery banks run low, your generator will kick in. So if you're doing a long cruise, for example, you're using some power in the boat as well. The generator will kick in at a preset level to start topping up the batteries.
Okay.
The inverter we've got is a Vitrion 10 kilowatt inverter. Now, the reason why we went for such a big inverter is because that allows you to actually fast charge the battery bank while still diverting power for use in the boat.
Wow, okay, that's great.
So again, it's all about end user sort of comfort.
Yep.
You're not. We didn't want a boat where you felt like you had to sacrifice because you were using electric.
Yeah.
which is a big issue and things people find, and myself personally, it's...
Well, I stopped using my fridge for a bit because it was using too much electricity, so...
See, and it, you know, similar to electric cars, a lot of people won't switch over to electric cars because they have the range anxiety, as they say, where they're worried about how much mileage you can actually get before you have to then sit and wait for a charging station. So we've tried to make it so that the boat is inconvenient free.
Okay. Should we have a look inside?
Yeah.
I love the windows. It's a unique shape. I haven't seen those on there.
Yeah, so they're actually Wesley Marine windows. They're double glazed thermal grey. And partly the reason why I chose them is it felt like it suited the boat in terms of the style and the look of the boat. Yeah. They're quite modern, but they're also, in terms of the actual windows themselves, one of the best you can get in terms of thermal efficiency. So again, which we're trying to build not what's adequate, but what's the best we can do.
Yeah.
So,
and it saves on other things, doesn't it? If there's better heat and
Yeah, that's it. And they also actually double up as escape hatches. So those panes are fully removable.
That's very smart. Oh wow. Do they do? Oh, they open from the top, do they? Yeah, I see.
So the little retainer clips, if you pull them upwards, the pane will actually come out completely.
Wow, cool.
So it also gives you the option then of, if you didn't want a duck hatch, you could actually just have another window in its stead.
Yeah. Oh, do you not have a hatch on here?
We do on this one.
Okay.
Because again, we didn't want to. What we're not trying to do is kind of like fly in the face of everything that's traditional on the boat, you know. So duck hatches, a lot of owners, they like them. Okay. So for this model, we've incorporated it, but for the future models, it is an option. You can either have another window, or we can install the duck hatches for you.
Fantastic.
So it's just versatility.
It's really customisable, isn't it, basically? Yeah. Up to you.
All the boats obviously come with a 48 watt bow thruster, so it's really powerful and torquey, so it gives you good manoeuvrability at the bow.
Amazing.
And with it being fully electric rather than, you know, incorporating the gas and stuff for it, what that also does is it frees up this space. So on most boats you would have a hatch for the gas locker. Here we obviously haven't got that, so we can utilise all of this extra space.
Wow, that's fab. And that's where you put your water, I see, yeah.
So water fillers there.
Great.
Put in, but basically your deck chairs, everything can go in there. There's more than enough space.
What water tank do you have? How many litres?
So the water tank, again, the advantages of using HDPE.
Yeah.
Because it's classed as a medical grade plastic.
Oh.
We've been able to build the water tank into the superstructure of the boat. So this whole floor that you're stood on is the water tank.
Oh my gosh, how cool is that?
So it's 980 litres fresh water.
Fantastic. That's
and
great.
Again, because you don't need to line it, it never needs to be tanked, it can never corrode.
Yeah.
Every couple of years, maybe just give it a flush out. It's absolutely perfect.
Are you going to get one of those filters at all that take stuff from the canal? From the canal? So
one of the options we're going to offer is a 9-stage osmosis filtration system.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, I just had one of them looked at getting fitted on my boat, but it was too big.
This is the problem. When we find one that's kind of suitably sized, where we can incorporate it again without it being inconvenient.
Yeah.
Then we're going to.
And not too ugly as well, because they're not very attractive. Yeah, I saw one and someone had it just literally on the side of their boat, just all these like cylinders, and I was like, that's not very nice.
You can get ones that go under this sink unit.
Oh, okay.
And then built in, but we're just looking at power consumption really at the moment. So again, we've tried to make this boat so you don't have to worry about power consumption per se. But obviously we don't want to just load stuff up unless it's necessary. So there are some systems we're trying to test and analyse which system's the best really, and then we'll go with that one.
Okay, great, cool, let's go in.
So through here, the doors aren't fitted yet, as you can see, but they will be done maybe next week.
Okay.
All being well.
Great.
Take you into what will be the master bedroom. So it will be a fixed double that will extend out to a full-size double. Some of these areas here, so most of the plugs are USB. So this will be an advantage of the structure of our boat is it allows us to utilise this extra width space on the support frames. So these will be pocket shelves. So again, one thing from a personal note, so a lot of this stuff, if I'm honest with you, it's stuff where I've looked at it from my own kind of semi-selfish perspective. Like, what wouldn't I like? So a lot of the bedrooms, you have a shelf here. Now we will have that shelving, but if you're lying in bed, not a lot of people have phones now, and it's like, I don't really want to reach up. And so now you'll be able to lie in bed, put your phone on charge with the USB and put it onto the shelf there.
Sorry, so remind me where the bed goes?
So the bed will be here.
Oh, I see. Okay, and that door...
And then this will be another wall.
Okay, yep.
So this will be a pocket door.
Yep, I see, yeah.
Yeah, and then this will be your bedroom wall with a shelf over it.
Gotcha.
But then this will be a pocket shelf, this will be a pocket shelf, so you can put your cup of tea there and lie in bed and...
Perfect. Bed. Just what you want. That's how you can envision yourself, couldn't it, isn't it? Cool.
Bathroom area.
Yep.
Again, so what a lot of people do is they install full height, basically shower enclosures for houses. So what we've done is we've gone for the specifically made one, again made by Wesley Marine actually, but that's so it's a 1650mm height shower enclosure. So that's allowed us to push the shower unit back rather than creating usually they create a boxed area here because the shower glass is too high. So this has let us push the shower unit back. Giving you a little bit more space in the bathroom. And basically you're not creating dead space because essentially that's just an area that some people will put shelves in, but it's kind of dead space. You don't
so you're having curved, is there like the curved?
So this will be
just the following that,
unit.
Okay.
And then a little addition is a lot of companies that build boats, or I should say a standard thing of building boats is your shower pump is usually buried inside the wall. So again, coming from the background, I come from the whole thinking is it's okay installing things, but how do you access them to maintain them or replace them? So what we've done is we've brought our shower pump out, and we could only do that by getting the specific size glass because that's allowed us to lift the tray off the floor. So our shower pump is now underneath the shower tray.
Oh, so it's quite easy to access.
So if you want to change it or unclog it, as you know, sometimes these pumps do clog up. You can literally disconnect the two pins for your pump, disconnect the hose, bring the pump out, clean out the head. If there's a blockage, you'll replace it, slip it back in.
Excellent, really good, yeah, love that.
So just little things. It's all about stress-free ownership.
It's a very stressful lifestyle, I know.
The toilet unit will be situated here. So that's a Renatus pump out toilet. The storage tank will be hidden under the bed frame, and there'll be a pump out access valve on the outside of the boat, so you just literally connect and go. No more pulling cassettes out.
I know that very well. Right.
Yeah, and then again, another pocket door.
Yeah.
So
this is the like a living room area, isn't it?
This will be the living room area.
Yeah.
So you'll have a media wall here with your TV at eye height, so you're not sitting in an awkward position watching the TV, which was another personal dislike of mine. So I figured try and make this more like a real, a house living room, a bit comfortable.
Yeah.
So we've got that there. We've got the USB sockets again, and behind this board, which is due to be installed again, this will be a set of pocket shelves.
Great.
Then there is an option also what we'll be offering for future boats, which will be your kitchen floor. We do a sunken wine rack with a clear perspex floor, so you can store your wine in there.
Oh my god, that's so fancy.
That'll be illuminated LED, so you can.
That is amazing. I'm gonna have to get one of those.
And then you don't need to lift it to know when you're running low. You can.
Yeah, that's amazing. Wow. Yeah.
Along here will be Corian. So all the worktops for this boat will be Corian. So this will be a breakfast bar area here. L-shaped. Again, sockets in convenient locations, and we will be incorporating into the actual worktop itself a wireless charging pad. So you'll literally be able to put your phone down on your worktop.
Excellent.
And if it's got that capability, it'll charge.
That's excellent. Yeah.
Couch will be situated here, and then the kitchen will be. And when the worktops arrive tomorrow, unfortunately, this will be an L-shaped kitchen with your fridge here, in a corner storage unit, storage drawers here, small cupboard.
Oh,
all of them are soft closed doors as well. So
lovely.
Sink will be situated here.
What sort of sink are you having?
So we are going with. It's a stainless steel unit. It's a sink only, but it's slightly larger basin than you'd get on a standard size sink. And your plate draining rack actually clips in to the sink there.
Oh, excellent. Great.
So then you can utilise this space for other stuff rather than having the drainer, which is a bit again, personal.
No, I like it. I like it. Idea.
We'll have a electric hob here.
Electric?
Yeah. So
wow.
Electric. Again, the beauty, you don't have to compromise or worry about power usage, because with it being a hybrid system, if you turned everything on the boat and you were sailing along, if it puts too much strain on the battery system, the generator will kick in.
Oh, so it does it automatically?
Yeah. So it's all configured to just work seamlessly together. So
all people need to be aware of is just make sure that generator has diesel in it.
Basically, yes.
Amazing.
Maybe every couple of 1,000 hours you top up the oil, and that's it. That's about as much as you're going to do in terms of servicing.
Wow. Okay, that's amazing.
Again, convenience.
Yeah.
This unit here will be again storage.
Yeah.
And what we've gone with is, instead of an electric oven, which a lot of people are fitting, but they're not very efficient and they do consume a lot of power. So we're going with a microwave air fryer combination oven.
Great. Yeah.
Which, as an owner of an air fryer, and I was a big skeptic, I was always one of them people that these things are a fad. I don't actually use my oven anymore.
Oh, really?
Basically, because they cook better and they cook in half the time.
Yeah, yeah.
So that allows us then to utilise all this space here as extra storage, which on a boat is bloody priceless, isn't it? So,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've thought of everything.
And we have another cupboard here.
Yeah.
And then this area here, steps on installed, yeah? This will be your electrical cupboard. So everything we've used for our system is Vitrion, and it's all the best spec that Vitrion offer. we just didn't want to compromise at all. So we wanted everything to integrate perfectly with itself, and that allows us to do upgrade options on the software and stuff like that. So watch this space, because there'll be some interesting innovations coming with the later boats.
Great.
This area will be storage, and we have a 42 litre electric water heater.
Oh, great, okay.
So again, that's like an immersion tank, so that will heat and then store the water, keep it warm for about 22 hours.
Wow.
But in addition to that, if you are steaming along, there's an additional pipe that will run, so whenever the generator does kick in, the heat that's generated will also just keep topping up the hot water for you.
That's amazing. Wow.
So again, it's all about like...
Yeah, no more hot water running out, wow.
No more compromise.
Yeah. And obviously the lights, what's going on with this?
Right, so the lights will be, so what this will be is we've gone with an acoustic battering right down the centre of the boat.
Okay.
And then inlaid into the gaps in between the acoustic battering will be LED strip lights.
Oh, nice.
So you basically have a section running from end of kitchen to the end of the living room. There'll be a separate LED light for the kitchen, all on dimmer switches. Again, it gives you a better quality of light.
Yeah.
Power consumption is quite nominal, and it just gives it a bit more of a modern feel to the boat, and it keeps the system simpler as well, because again, looking at points of failure, the more wiring looms you have, the more possibility that a wire could fail, and then you have to start pulling things down from your ceiling. So again, it's about convenience for the owner.
Amazing. Cool. Is that everything in here? Because I want to have to ask some questions outside, if that's all right.
No,
yeah, cool. Do you have any samples of the vinyl at all or not?
We do, yes. I've got a huge roll.
Because I want to talk about that next, if that's all right.
So we do have the vinyl here. So that is a gloss white automotive vinyl.
Okay.
It's the latest version of the automotive vinyl, so it's more durable than the previous sort of versions of what they used to put on cars. So it's got maybe a 10-year lifespan, probably longer, but we'd say minimum 10 years. And
that's just like rain, like, you know, obviously if someone's going to bash into the side of a towpath, it's going to scratch, isn't it?
Yes, it would, but again, if you look at the profile of the boat, it's so, the edge of our boat's straighter, so it's almost slightly higher, so realistically you're probably going to scuff the edge of the hull rather than hit your cab.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Then, again, the vinyl itself, if you did need to patch it, it's a lot easier to simply cut away a patch and patch in.
Yeah.
And it's virtually invisible. If you obviously we'll be offering repairs as a service, but if you do it properly, you don't see any repairs.
Can I ask why you think no one's ever vinyled a boat before?
I've often asked that question myself. I don't really know. I think a lot of stuff in the boating world is it's quite people don't really, I don't want to say innovate, but they're comfortable doing what they've always done. So it's kind of like, if it isn't broken, don't try and fix it kind of mindset. And I think it's also that thing of like vinyl being associated with cars, it's automotive. Surely it can't work on a boat, but if you actually looked at it logically, it's made to be so durable that it can be put on a car, last for years, and the car's doing 70 miles an hour down a motorway, it's being hit by stone chips and rain, and it lasts. So canal boat doesn't really go through any of those extreme conditions, so to me it just made more sense.
Yeah, I agree. And you can do it in any colour or pattern.
Well, this is another thing, you know, you're only limited by your imagination.
Wow. You could literally get a giant photograph printed up in it.
You could have a family photograph down the side of the boat, you could have a picture of yourself, you know.
Oh, how funny.
Yeah.
I might have my dog,
you know,
get my dog printed on it.
Favourite pop star, whatever you like, you know.
Wow.
So
you're revealing or unveiling this boat at Crick Boat Festival. Is that like the official day? Are you worried about you get any controversy around it?
Not so much. I've kind of expecting this to not be some people's cup of tea.
Okay.
But to us, it's another option. You know, it's like there's a multitude of different types of cars, shapes, sizes. It's personal choice. So for us, you know, we welcome all criticism. Constructive criticism to me is helpful. You know, there's been certain things during the process of developing this boat where people have given us constructive feedback, and instead of taking it as a negative thing, we've gone, well, actually, okay. And then some of it we've incorporated, some of it we haven't, but you've got to kind of look at things from other people's perspective and not take stuff really personally. So I'm sure there'll be some negative comments, but for the most part, all the feedback we've had so far has been really good, you know. And even a lot of the other boat companies, I mean, Liverpool's were quite busy boat companies, and one of my neighbours, Aintree Boats, you know, they're seasoned boat builders, many decades, and you know, they've been really positive. They said, you know, it's good to see people innovating and trying to change stuff.
Excellent.
If we don't try and push and change, then we never move forward. There's no progress made. So
yeah, I agree. Just noticed there's no chimney, so there's no wood burner in this, is there?
There isn't, no. So we will be offering as an option a reflex diesel heater if somebody did want that. We won't be offering log burners. We just kind of feel for our boats, it's kind of, it contradicts the kind of the philosophy of why this boat was built and how it's built. You know, this boat is meant to be pushing technology forward and, you know, being more efficient, etc. And log burners, you know, while I do like an open fire, you know, they're quite messy.
Yeah.
You can't really control the heat very well. And then you have the issue of storage of fuel as well.
True.
You know, you either have to jump out on the bank and get your saw out and cut some wood up, or you have to make space. And we just thought, well, again, it's back to that ethos of like everything we're trying to do is to make it as ease of use as possible and as relaxing. So what we are going with is we're going with these low voltage, high efficiency glass panel heaters. It kind of suits the style of the boat anyway, but what that does is it allows you to keep the boat warm, you know, minimise energy use. It's more controllable heat, and with the boat being so thermally efficient, we don't really need much more than that.
Yep.
We're going to be, well, the boat is 100 millimetres of thermal insulation, so it's quite thick.
And what do they usually use in boats? How thick?
It's usually approximately 30 to 50 mil of spray foam, which is good, and you could go thicker, but it's more an issue of the design of a steel boat as opposed to the way we've designed this boat. So our support framing is actually 100 millimetres deep, so it gives us a bigger cavity to put in more insulation and utilise that to create the pocket shelf and stuff like that.
Excellent.
But the boat itself, being plastic, is probably about 5 times more thermally efficient than a steel boat anyway, if that's, you know, opposed to the
you mind if you just walk over there a bit? It's a bit noisy. Just walk
Yeah.
over there. Yeah, can we, talking about the whole plastic thing, I haven't even covered the plastic bit. So can you talk to me what it's made out of?
Yeah, so it's called, the industry name is Polystone G.
Okay.
So again, I mean, I've come across this material offshore. It's primarily used for a lot of work boats, rescue boats, military boats, police boats, stuff like that. So it's vessels that are going into extreme environments. I've personally seen HDPE boats caught in storms, and you know, they've literally had their engines ripped off. They've, you know, the vessels we're on, which are huge, you know, 20,000 ton vessels, are just about maintaining, you know, not sinking. And then the next day the storm passes and that thing's just bobbing away. Like it's so robust and strong, it's unbelievable.
Oh, great. And is it, how many pieces is it out of?
So it's actually done, if you notice, so the process is, it's actually extrusion welded, so it's welded together almost like a steel boat is, but with a plastic welding process. So the sheets are, I think it's 8-foot sheets, and you can see some of the weld seams here and here. Okay. But the beauty of this stuff is, and there is a lot of test videos available online if anybody's interested, is unlike a steel weld. So obviously a steel weld's really strong, but with steel being so rigid, at a certain point when there's enough force put on it, the weld will snap. With this, although this plastic is really, really rigid and tough, and it's still plastic, so if there's an extreme force put on it, the weld doesn't actually break. The plastic will actually bend.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And that's part of the reason what makes them so indestructible.
Of course, yeah.
Now again, a narrowboat is never going to be in 5 metre swells out in the open ocean. You could crash this thing. Essentially, with it having that bit of flex, what it would do is just bounce off.
How would it do in salt water?
Same thing.
Same?
Yeah. Okay. It's just completely impervious. I mean, as I said, you know, these boats are offshore, so it's...
Of course.
And then the UV resistance of the plastic's great as well. So one great advantage of this is that will stay that black forever. And
obviously a big faff of living on a boat is getting it blacked. Don't need to do that with this.
Completely eliminates the need to blacken.
Wow. So in the long run, it actually makes it cheaper as well, because that's quite a cost, isn't it, when it comes to boats?
I mean, you don't get any corrosion, so obviously you don't get any thinning of any of the hull materials at all. Your base plate stays that thick forever, the sides of your hull.
And in terms of costing, how much are you looking at charging for these?
So this one, if anybody's interested, this one, as it's the first and it's the introduction boat, we're doing this for 180,000. The proper retail price for these models will be 190, and then obviously we can then do further customization on them as customer specification. But yeah, we think that's a good price. Looking at the cost of the equivalent steel boat using similar propulsion tech, etc., we feel we actually come slightly under. So we want to offer value for money. Again, it's the kind of the philosophy is boating shouldn't be painful in terms of running your boat and maintaining it, and it also shouldn't be painful in terms of your pocket. So
amazing. I think that's everything, unless there's something else I've missed. Can you think of anything that we've missed? Covered inside, covered outside, covered engine, water, toilet. Yeah, I think that's everything.
Do you want to take a few shots of the stern? And
yeah, let's do that. Let's have a chat about that actually, yeah.
So the stern is, as you can see, a little bit different to a standard narrowboat. Now, again, taking on constructive criticism. So one issue raised by some people was reverse thrust. So the advantage of having the intakes is it reduces the likelihood of things fouling your prop. This extended base plate actually protects the E-pod, so if you were to hit anything underneath it, it's fully protected. It actually creates slightly better forward thrust because you're funneling the water to the prop and concentrating the flow. Now, you do lose a small amount of reverse thrust. However, the angle of which we put the intakes means that we still get a good reverse thrust on the boat, and the boat being substantially lighter than its equivalent in steel kind of counterbalances that.
Of course, yeah.
So it's we have thought of that as well. This was an issue that was raised.
So, I mean, it might be a bit of a stupid question, but obviously it hasn't been in water. How do you know that it's going to work the way you're saying?
So the boat was designed along with a very experienced naval architect.
Okay.
So we've worked through a lot of these issues, coordinating with him. Again, I've got a lot of experience of being on boats that have got a similar design, so I understand that. A lot of the issue that comes with this kind of design is generally the sweep of the intake is a lot less shallow, so essentially the water shoots out here if you go in reverse. We've done this on quite a shallow angle, so when we do go into reverse, although you're losing a tiny bit, the water is still essentially shooting out and giving you the backward push you need.
Gotcha.
As I mentioned before, the tech we're planning to put into the boats is upgradable, so there is going to be some additions in the future once we've done some further testing, but being a shaftless system, it does give us the option of incorporating a rotatable prop. Mm-hmm. So you will then be able to essentially rotate the prop, and with use of the bow thruster you can dock your boat perfectly sideways into the
That's
amazing.
Side, and you mentioned earlier that about the remote. Yeah. Right,
yeah. So again, with the system we've used, with the reason why we've chose this system is it's upgradable. Yeah. So later editions of the boat, and also these editions, which is good for people who buy the earlier models. So we've thought of them as well. Is we will be looking at incorporating remote control on the boat, so you'll be able to drive the boat via your phone.
That's insane! Oh my god, not in a good way. Wow.
So if you're a solo sailor,
such as myself, yeah.
The big pain in the backside is trying to tie your boat up, run to the lock, open the lock, untie, get your boat in, so on. You'll be able to basically put the boat into hold position. It'll hold itself along the side of the canal bank. Bimble along, open your lock, drive it in, stop it, shut the lock, fill your lock, open the other side, drive it out, put it back into basically park position, and it'll hold its position along the canal bank. Hop on the boat and away you go.
That's amazing. That'll make life a lot easier. Wow. Great. Cool. And when is it going to be finished, for one?
So we think we're still on schedule, so possibly the 25th of April we should be finished, and then we'll be doing a full system check, making sure everything's working and everything's fine. And then all being well, we are planning to try and do a sail day at the Albert Dock. So we've had a few potential customers who were interested in trying the boat prior to Crick.
Really? Already?
Yeah, so what we've said is, all being well, barring nothing unexpected to the schedule, we're going to get into the Albert Dock. We'll contact those on our subscriber list from the website, and then we will basically fit in time slots for them to come and have an actual trial of the boat, drive it around.
Wow. So it's not going to be a struggle to sell it then if people are already interested.
Hopefully not. I mean, we just hope people like it as much as we like it, you know. This has been a labour of love. You know, as I said, my intention was to buy a shell, and I ended up having so much faith in this and enthusiasm that we started the company. And so.
Great. And when did the start of this? Yeah, when did this start getting made?
Let's see. So it would have been beginning of November 24.
Okay.
And it was completed probably about the 20th of January. And it would have been earlier, but unfortunately the guys wanted a week off for Christmas.
How dare they? Amazing.
So we're hoping with a few refinements to that as well. So again, the fit-out system that we've used, I don't know if you probably did notice, but if you actually look at the framing of the boat, so we don't need to batten our boats. Essentially, the battening is built into the framework.
What does batten mean?
So the wooden battening you would normally have on a steel boat, which you'll attach your walls to.
Oh, okay.
Ours is actually built in.
Oh.
So all those flat sections are what would be traditionally wooden battening.
Okay.
So the idea of that is, during a fit out as a company, one of the things that consumes time is insulation and battening the boat before you can actually start installing stuff. So we've incorporated that in.
Great.
So you can basically just ballast and then start lining the boat. So it increases the speed. So we're hoping, all being well with a few refinements to the system, from delivery of the shell to delivery to customer will be 6 weeks.
Wow.
With a few tweaks to the production of the shells, which we are also in the process of doing.
Yeah.
We're hoping 4 to 5 weeks for the shell from start to delivery to us.
That's so quick. Oh my! How long does a steel boat take to get made?
I think it's usually around 7 to 8 weeks for the shell to be fabricated.
Okay.
And then maybe 10 to 12 weeks for the boat to be fitted. So it's a substantial.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, the beauty of this thing is a lot of our boats, basically the components are CNC'd.
What's CNC?
So it's basically computer numeric, so it's cut on it, so it's programmed in a drawing.
Yeah.
And then this wall section, for example, will be cut, and then you decide in advance where you want your windows, and it cuts the window aperture to the size of window you want. Mm-hmm. So this thing, all these things speed up the process, but it also builds in accuracy.
Yeah. Amazing. You basically modernised a whole narrowboat, like the whole thing. Everything is completely like modern. That's
great. It's similar to the car industry.
Yeah.
If you go to a production plant, it's a lot of robots and stuff, and we're not trying to replace people, because again, the fit out and the electronic side of things, it's really experienced guys doing that for a reason, because that's, to me, you know, it's not just tradition. You need that human element of flexibility and accuracy and stuff like that. But the base shell itself and certain processes, if we can sort of almost automate them, it just saves a lot of time. And at the end of the day, the quicker we can get a boat finished, the quicker the customer can enjoy it.
And you're thinking of the customer as well, and you're thinking of them to make it easy for them, aren't you? So.
The waiting lists are substantial at the moment. You know, there's different people that have different numbers, but it averages between 2 to 3 years, maybe, waiting list. So we kind of figure, well, if people want a boat, let's try and get them a boat as quickly as possible. Yeah. That's built up to a really good standard. You turn the key, you sail away, stress free.